So how's it going, fragrance fans? Now I thought it'd be fun to put together a little video, well a bunch of videos, so I like a series of my favourite winter fragrances but broken down into sort of different categories. So the first one I wanted to do was my favourite 5 boozy fragrances for winter. So I'm going to be back in just a second with my top 5 boozy fragrances. So welcome back. As I said, I'm putting together like a little series of different sort of recommendations for winter fragrances based on sort of categories. My first one is this one, which would be booziness. So if you're looking for a nice boozy fragrance, hopefully you'll find what you're looking for in here. Now, the reason I decided I wanted to do this is because it's December now, so people are starting to look for those sort of warmer fragrances, and I've picked out 5 that are absolutely stunning and very sort of hypnotizing, I'd say, and mesmerizing fragrances. The ones that I really enjoy the most, and definitely the booziest ones that I could find. So let's get straight in with number 5. Now number 5, this one doesn't quite have the performance I really look for, but it is a very beautiful scent, and that's Remarkable People by Etat Libre d'Orange. What I do really like about this one, the boozy note in this one is champagne, but it's also mixed in there with some sort of, it's kind of like a sleepy champagne mixed in there with some citrus notes and some woody notes, which do sort of bring up like the booziness of this fragrance. I mean, it's definitely one that you sort of feel, definitely sort of more of a wintry fragrance. I say fall winter sort of time of year, and it's got quite, I wouldn't say fresh, but it's middling there. It's not fresh, but it's not sort of too dark. It's sort of somewhere right in the middle. I've not sort of tried too many fragrances from this house that I really like, but this one I wore a couple of weeks ago when I was just about to get on a flight, so first thing in the morning, and this was sort of really nice to wear for that sort of occasion. But I mean, this would definitely be great in the evening as well. Like I say, it's got that kind of sort of sleepy, boozy sort of fragrance to it. It's a very nice scent. I mean, I really do enjoy the notes in this one. Like I said, though, unfortunately, the performance I found with this one isn't fantastic. I mean, you're still looking at a good 6 or 7 hours out of this one with decent projection. You're only looking sort of probably 2-3 feet projection. I mean, you can check out my full review of this one, which is on my channel from a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, this one, pretty good longevity, pretty good projection for those sort of 7-8 hours, I'd say. But yeah, my first one is Remarkable People by Etat Libre d'Orange. So getting into my number 4. Now my top 4 do come from only 2 different fragrance houses, which are incredible at making very boozy fragrances. Definitely the best that I've discovered on the market. Now the first one is number 4, and that's going to be Nasomatto Absinth. Nasomatto really do know how to make an absolutely incredible and mesmerizing fragrance. I found all the ones that I've tried from this house just grow on me. The first one I tried was Black Afghano, and I tried it on not sort of really knowing what to expect from it. I'd read sort of reviews, and they tended to be sort of quite polarizing. People either loved it or they hated it, but nobody seemed to be sort of somewhere in between. So I tried it with an open mind, and it just grew on me throughout the day. And that's the way I've found all of the ones I've tried from Nasomatto since. Anything that I sort of quite liked out of the bottle, I picked up an extra 3, including this one, Baraonda, and also Pardon as well. Now, when I was in Miami a few weeks ago, and I've tried all of them, and so far, I mean, these are just incredible fragrances. I mean, the Absinthe, well, obviously you can guess the sort of the smell that they're going for with this one, but yeah, again, another incredible boozy fragrance that will just continue to grow on you. I mean, these last 4 is really hard to sort of pick any that sort of really stand out. The last 4 that I've got are such incredible fragrances, and like I say, they will all grow on you, and they're all absolutely mesmerizing and hypnotizing. But this one, I mean, if you're looking for something a little bit different, the absinthe notes in this one just make it sort of like a little bit, I mean, you don't really sort of get the mintiness from this that you would get in regular green absinthe, but it's such a boozy sort of, again, it's a little bit like the Etat Libre, and like it's a kind of sort of sleepy fragrance. But this one is one that will grow on you throughout the day as well. Now, something else that's incredible about the Nasomatto fragrances is they tend to get stronger throughout the day, and that is certainly the case with this one, as I found also with the Black Afghano and Baraonda. You put them on, and they smell great when they first go on, but throughout the day they just seem to get stronger. I mean, they're all extracts, so you don't need as much of any of these as you would with maybe an eau de parfum or an eau de toilette, which is something great. I mean, they only come in these tiny little bottles, 30ml bottles, and you're looking, they run around sort of $180 for that size bottle, but they are so worth the money in my opinion, which is why I'm such a big fan of this. I mean, it's definitely one of the houses that I'm fondest of at the niche market. But I mean, if you're looking for something a little bit different, in the case of a sort of a boozy fragrance, definitely try Nasomatto's Absinth. Now, moving into my top 3 now, we get on to the other house that I am very, very fond of when it comes to boozy fragrances. And this one is Apple Brandy from Kilian. Now, this one just absolutely stunned me. The first time I tried this, I sprayed this on my wrist when I was in London. I've been shopping in the boutique, and I tried this one alongside Straight to Heaven Extreme. So this one didn't really stand a chance because Straight to Heaven Extreme is a very, very strong fragrance. And I had one on each wrist, and I could barely smell this next to the Straight to Heaven Extreme. But a few weeks later, I got home. Thankfully, they gave me the sample to try it at a later date, and I'm so glad that they did, because I just fell in love with this one. My wife absolutely loves this one as well. So when I tried this one, I just, like I say, I just absolutely fell in love with it. I mean, it's just such a beautiful sort of, I mean, the thing is with this one, I mean, it does smell very, very cidery. I wouldn't say sort of so much apple brandy as I would cider. It's got those beautiful sort of, I would say it's got to be green apple that's in there. But yeah, I mean, the green apple that you get out of this, but it's just such a sort of just incredible boozy fragrance. I really do love this one, and I'm so glad that I did get the chance to try this, because those apple notes in there and the booziness that goes along with it. I mean, the one thing it doesn't actually have in it is brandy, bizarrely, but I mean, it's been named. Between this one and the single malt, this is definitely the better one. The single malt I found to be very, very weak, which is another one by Kilian, by the way. This one, I know it's exclusive to just the boutiques, same with the single malt. But this one, just to me, it just absolutely kills the single malt. So that's why I've picked this one to go in my top 5, and the single malt is not there, even though I do love whiskey notes as well. But this one, yeah, I mean, the apple brandy from Kilian, I cannot recommend this high enough. If you ever get the chance to get your hands on a sample of this, like I say, it's only going to be from the boutiques unless you find somebody selling one elsewhere. But this is definitely one to try out. This one doesn't have quite the same performance that I normally expect out of a Kilian. It's still very, very good going. You're looking at 8 hours. Really, it's a little bit softer though. You're only looking at sort of 1 to 2 feet projection, but it's just such a beautiful fragrance that you will be able to smell on yourself all day long as well. So I mean, it's just one I enjoy, and it's again perfect for this time of year. So in my 3rd spot, you got by Kilian's Apple Brandy. So moving into my top 2 now, it's very, very hard to pick between these two. Obviously they're both from one from Kilian and one from Nasomatto. As I mentioned, it was just down to 2 houses, but these two are absolutely killer fragrances. So I think just sliding in, just missing the #1 spot, I would have to say, is Nasomatto's Baraonda. Now this one is made to smell like a beautiful aged single malt whiskey, and it does such an amazing job of that. When I tried this one on, even when I first smelled this one, I just absolutely fell in love with it. I mean, I'm a whiskey drinker myself, specifically Scotch, especially aged whiskey as well, something I really, really love. I mean, this smells like a 25, 30-year-old aged Scotch. Maybe sort of, you got those sort of sherry or maybe a rum barrel that it's been aged in, which gives it that little bit of sweetness to it, which is something I really, really love. I'm very fond of I think it's a 15-year-old Glenmorangie whiskey that I tried, and it's aged in I'm sure it's a sherry cask, or it could be a rum cask, one of the two, but this is what this one reminds me of. It's just such a magical fragrance when you smell it. And this one, like I say, just like the other Nasomattos, this one will continue to grow on you throughout the day. Now, I've heard others say that the boozy notes seem to fade on them quite quickly. I found with this one, it changed. It didn't sort of fade on me. I found it goes a little bit more rummy later on in the day. Whether that's, I mean, the way that it's supposed to go, but yeah, I mean, this one, it does sort of change. It graduates throughout the day, and it is, I think it's a beautiful scent, and the changes that it goes through are just absolutely incredible and mesmerizing, like I found with all the fragrances that I've tried from this house. So I mean, this is definitely, if you're into your scotches and you're into sort of whiskey and very, very boozy smelling scents, this is definitely the one that, I mean, you definitely got to get your hands on this one. Definitely try it. Like I say, I think this is the best whiskey fragrance out there. Again, compared to Kilian single malt, this one absolutely kills it. The single malt is very, very weak. Like I said, when I was talking about the apple brandy, the single malt is very weak. I could barely smell it sort of at all after sort of an hour or so. But this one goes on all day long, I found. So Nasomatto's Baraonda slips in at number 2. So moving into my number 1 spot. Now, those of you that watch my channel regularly will know that I've got a very, very big fondness for this fragrance, and my number 1 will come as no surprise to you. I've loved this fragrance, and it is my favorite fragrance of all time. The only one that's given it really a run for its money is Nasomatto's Black Afghano, which I find almost as addictive, but I'm absolutely stunned and addicted to this fragrance that is my number 1, and that is by Kilian's Straight to Heaven Extreme. Now, when it comes to rummy fragrances, this one is just absolutely mesmerizing. I have to be really careful when I smell this one, because every time I do, I really, really want to wear it. Now, I don't know if you can see at all, because of the bottle itself, you can only see it at the corners. But I've used quite a bit of this, considering that I only got it back in July. And bearing in mind, I wear a different fragrance every day for reviewing, so I don't get to wear it that often, but I do wear it in the evenings if I'm going out to a special occasion or something like that. It's normally between this or Black Afghano, my 2 favourites. So the rest of my collection kind of gets overlooked a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this one, when it comes down to boozy fragrances, this one is an absolute stunner. I could not recommend this one high enough. The only problem with this one is it is only a limited edition. This one I want to say it goes for $315. So it's sort of an extra $20 more than the original Straight to Heaven. The original, though, doesn't have anywhere near the performance that you're going to get out of the Extreme version. This one is everything to me that the original should have been. Now, if you enjoy the original, this is pretty much the original that's pumped up. It's got an extra shot of vanilla, it's got an extra shot of rum, and also an extra shot of dried fruits, and it just makes it so much nicer in my opinion. I mean, I liked the original Straight to Heaven, but I really found that the performance of it really lacked, and you don't get that one. You don't get that problem with the Extreme version. It's such a beautiful sort of strong fragrance, and it's just absolutely captivating. This one, I don't get many compliments on this one because it is a little bit softer and it's not like a massive projecting fragrance. It wears a little bit close to the skin. I mean, you're still looking at around 2 to 3 feet. My wife also loves this one as well. What's most important to me, though, is I love this one. This is why I wear this fragrance. I wear my fragrances for me. I'm not fussed about compliments, so. But I mean, this is, like I say, this is my favourite fragrance that I've discovered of all time. I mean, I've been through a lot of different fragrances, but there's nothing really to me that competes with this one. I just, like I say, I'm absolutely addicted to it. So my number 1 spot goes to Kilian's Straight to Heaven Extreme. Now, as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your top 5 boozy recommendations? Like I say, I'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. You can find me at Luxury Fragrance Boss. That way you can keep up to date with everything that I've got going on, my scent of the day, anything like that, any new videos I've got coming out. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know anytime I've got a new video coming out. You get notified about it, so you never miss one. Like I say, this is only one of a series of 3 or possibly 4. I haven't quite decided yet. The others are going to be tobacco and woody, but I may break the woody down into sort of fresh woodies and sort of darker woodies. So you've got those to look forward to, and they will be coming out sort of every few days. So I'm looking at launching the next one probably on Thursdays. It'd be Thursdays and Sundays evenings I'm looking to do these, so definitely stay tuned for those. Other than that, stay smelling fantastic, stay smelling boozy, I guess, but not not in the wrong way. So other than that, like I say, stay smelling fantastic. I'll see you in my very next video very, very soon, and thank you very much for watching.